how paranoid do we need to be about inflation outlook? I have come across a hypothesis that quantitative easing has virtually no effect on inflation. Do you think that is correct?
In principle, I would argue it is correct. Inflation only is going to spill over into the real economy if people receive an enormous one-time payment, so helicopter money, for example, or if they are really getting nervous about the capacity of fiat money to store value. I would argue that's not yet the case with the broader public, and we still have no helicopter money. So I would argue that it's highly unlikely that central banks will reach their new inflation targets without adding very creative instruments to their central bank policy. So I'm not very nervous about inflation, but inflation wouldn't be a bad thing for all kind of real assets. So if you are afraid about inflation and you have a longer investment horizon than 5 years, I think it's an absolute must to invest in real assets in your own home, which I always argue is the start of building a personal wealth. But if you have your own home, then the next step is obviously global equities.
What are how afraid are you about the inventiveness of central bank policies?
I'm not necessarily afraid.
There is talk about, you know, creating digital currency, about universal income, and
I fully understand that
idea.
there are two functions to that: being afraid as a citizen who is nervous about the structure of our economic system. Yes, I'm very afraid, but being afraid as an investor is a total different issue, because central banks, which are very creative, are going to destroy the trust of people in the monetary system, in our capitalistic economic system. Yes, they do. But every instrument they are using certainly is going to propel, at least on relative terms, the attractiveness of real assets versus nominal assets. Those who really should be nervous about creativeness of central banks are those holding enormous amounts of their wealth in nominal assets.
So in the environment where investors are and will continue to be losing money holding fiat currencies and holding low-risk bonds, investing in large cap shares seem to be a proper conservative approach to investing. Is this like the new conservative game for the next 5 to 10 years?
I think first of all, I disagree that most people realize they are losing money. Because most of the public still lives with the so-called nominal illusion. 100 euros stays 100 euros, and they don't think in real values. But I think that may be changed over time, and then they are obviously looking for alternative to cash or to low risk investment. And I think it's not astonishing that people who are thinking along that line, they are looking for corporations with quite a stable income flow, with quite an uncyclical business model, and take these kind of corporations. Food supplier certainly is one of the sectors they are looking for as a substitute for cash or short-term fixed income investments. I agree.